welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a look at Math 6. It is the newly released course from The Good and the Beautiful. Obviously for those older years, maybe 5th, maybe 6th, depending on, your child grade level. I am so ecstatic to have my hands on a copy of Math 6, and I wanted to sit down and share my thoughts on it with you guys, give you some information. I've been collecting questions that I've been seeing asked over and over again, and I hope to address those in this video for you guys. If you're regular watchers of my channel, you might be wondering, Ashley, where are you? I do not recognize that background. Well, I am actually filming this while I am in Texas for my daughter's soccer trip. I had a list of things that I needed to get done while I was away because we were here for a pretty long time and had some downtime in between games. So I wanted to take advantage of that, and talking about Math 6 with you guys was on that list. So I just wanted to throw that out. I haven't completely redecorated my bedroom. So we are going to be talking about Math 6 today, and I hope you guys enjoy hearing my thoughts on the new math program. I do want to thank The Good and the Beautiful for partnering with me on today's video. I am continually blessed and inspired by the resources that they create for me to use in my homeschool. So if you're new, this will be good information for you. If you watch my content regularly, this will be a little repetitive, but I'm going to go through it really quickly. So about 2 or 3 years ago, from the point that I'm filming this, The Good and the Beautiful redid their entire math programs. They changed a lot of things. They made it more streamlined. They made it more simple. That's where the name Simply Good and Beautiful Math came from. They took feedback from the users and the parents and the children who were using the previous versions of math, and they basically corrected everything that they could possibly think of, and they came out with Simply Good and Beautiful Math. So Simply Good and Beautiful Math is new to me as a homeschooler because I've been homeschooling for a very long time. I was homeschooling long before The Good and the Beautiful ever even had math available. So the fact that I get to use their math programs with my youngest daughter is something I'm really happy about. It's something I'm really excited about. Last year, she completed the Simply Good and Beautiful Year 4. She completed the whole level. This coming up school year, we're going to be doing Simply Good and Beautiful Math Level 5 for her 5th grade year. And then now I have Math 6. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a history because before The Good and the Beautiful released math, I obviously was using and have tried several other math programs. And so I feel like that exposure to those other programs, really with my other children seeing what works and what didn't, or what I appreciated about that course but didn't really love about that one, has given me, a very narrowed in focus on what I like in a math curriculum, what I like in a math program. So I absolutely love Simply Good and Beautiful Math. People ask me all the time, if you could go back, here's one of those questions. If you could go back and start over, would you just go with Simply Good and Beautiful Math from the start? Or would you use the other programs that you used in the past and then change in the future? I personally would start with Simply Good and Beautiful Math but it wasn't around. But that's what I would do. I love it that much. I really, really, really love this math program, and my daughter, most importantly, really loves it as well. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a history. Now that Math 6 is out, this is basically going to take my daughter, into pre-algebra. So that's great because then for the higher level maths, I have found something that works really well for my high schoolers, and I'm hopeful that it's going to work for my son for his 7th grade year. And so then that will probably be what comes right after this. Now, don't quote me on that. Things can still change, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So with Math 6, there are 2 books. You have your book 1, which is right there. You have book 2 right here. And then you have your very user-friendly answer key. I cannot say enough about these answer keys. They're really wonderful because it takes, you know, sometimes in math curriculums, the answers are all just black and white. They're on a page and it's just numbers, 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 numbers. As a mom of 4, when I'm grading math or looking over math for accuracy, my eyes can be ping-ponging all around the room, and it really is difficult for me to find, you know, like which ones we're on. And so I love that the pages are very clearly laid out like this, so you can see exactly what they're doing. So this is your answer key. So this is everything that you need for math. The Good and the Beautiful does have a scratch paper pad that you can purchase in addition to this for your children to solve their math problems on. It does have it like grid, so it's like a graph paper, so it's nice for computing math problems because they can do place value with those and different things, but of course you don't need that. Which brings me to my first point of something that I love about this math course. So this math course introduces your children into calculator, scientific calculation at a specific lesson, but the course is meant to be completed without a calculator. Now, I think that's really important because, well, for a lot of reasons, it's just my preference. I really appreciate that this course is recommended and intended to be done without a calculator. I think sometimes introducing a calculator too soon into math can basically handicap your child into depending on that calculator. I think it's much more worthwhile for them to learn how to compute the math problems the long way, and then use a calculator maybe for checking their answers if you want them to have that practice. But I personally appreciate that this course is meant to be completed without a calculator, but it does introduce them into a scientific calculator, what that means, how it works, and things like that, but that is not like the focus of the course. Another thing that I really, really appreciate about Math 6 is that they have not done away with colored lessons. So the lessons are beautiful. They have, you know, images on them. They have, you know, a section for their warm-up. Then they have their mental math section, the video lesson if you want them to do it, and then their lesson over here, front and back. But a lot of math curriculums, so here's just like a sample that I turned to. A lot of math curriculums get rid of color for those middle school years. It's like all of a sudden your child becomes a preteen or a teenager and they don't like colorful images, and that is just not true at all. So I love the fact that they have those beautiful pages that we have come to know and love the Good and the Beautiful for. The other thing that I want to point out about Math 6, which is something that I get asked a lot, is this math a mastery math program or is it a spiral learning math program? So this is a spiral method math program, meaning that your children are going to continually be reviewing concepts previously learned. In a mastery math program, they learn something, and once they've mastered that, they move on and they don't go back to it. Some children prefer that, some prefer the other. I personally prefer the spiral approach. My kids need those reminders and refreshers, and they're not bothered by doing something they already know how to do. If they know how to do it, they see it as, yay, I'm gonna get this done quickly. So that is the philosophy or approach, if you will, behind math from the Good and the Beautiful. Math 6, yes, but also the other levels. So that is really great. The other wonderful thing about Simply Good and Beautiful is the video lesson component. Now, it is not an entire lecture, like a 40-minute thing or anything. In my experience, they've ranged from about 10 to 15 minutes. They are optional. You do not have to do them, which is wonderful because If you don't want your children to watch the video lesson, you can just skip right over that part. However, if you do, they have this QR code that your child can scan using whatever kind of device that you would have them use, and they can watch it, or you can go to the website if they're doing it on a computer and watch the video there with the website. So I love those videos. My daughter loves those videos. And that is what leads into the next point, which is this math program is meant for your child to be pretty much independently able to work through it. So if you're like me and you don't want to be teaching math at a whiteboard, doing all the problems, showing all the things, then this math program will be excellent because it does have that video component which explains and introduces the concept. And in the videos, it also has them pause and work through a problem or two so that they can see if they're grasping it. Personally, in my homeschool, if I see her not able to do it right there, then I will stop and I will personally, go over it and show her, okay, you should have done this or you should have done that before she's even getting into the lesson, so that way she's not handing me a page of math that is completely incorrect. So I love that the video lesson is at the beginning, so then that way we're able to see, does she understand this, does she not? And we love doing those video lessons, but I think it's really great that they offer it optional if that's something you don't want your child to do or is distracting to them, or if you just want them to learn math in a different way, then you can skip right on over that. So the last question that I want to address is, what does this math course cover? So it covers a lot, you guys, but I'm gonna just read a little bit to you from the course overview. So it says Math 6 consists of books 1 and 2. There are 120 total lessons divided into 4 units. Each unit ends with a unit review and assessment, and the course is designed to be completed by the student independently, but parents and teachers can choose to be as involved as they would like. So it says how many lessons should they do per week. They recommend 4 per week because there's 120. So the lessons account for, or the course accounts for, vacation and sickness, which is amazing. I wish all homeschool programs would get on board with this. I really prefer the 120 days. The next one is how long does the lessons take? 45 to 60 minutes is recommended. So that is what is in here. Now, as far as what it goes over, it starts in unit 1 with opposites and absolute value, goes through prime factoring, greatest common factors, division, dividing decimals, exponents, converting fractions, coordinate planes, the distributive property, percents, finding the whole, complex fractions. I'm just throwing off different ones. Geometric figures, that is all in book 1. And then in book 2, which would be your second portion of your course, you're going to be solving roots, simple and compound interest, mass and weight, length, capacity, compound, probability, graphing lines, ratios, proportions, solving proportions, data, histograms, stem and leaf plots, rainy day games, interpreting measures of central tendency, scientific notation, introduction to calculators, polygons, polyhedrons, like integer operation review. So, and that wasn't even all of it. It lists every single mathematical concept that they're going to be learning in the beginning of the book. So I was just picking and choosing to give you guys an idea of what it is. So in my personal experience, with using other math curriculums before moving on to, let's say, a pre-algebra or an algebra 1, these are the concepts covered. So I do personally think that my daughter will be fine going from Math 6 into a pre-algebra course. Now, the good and the beautiful may or may not continue on with their, math curriculum levels. We will see what they are working on next. They are always up to something good. That's as much as I can say. But I do think that this course would absolutely be sufficient for a pre-algebra course. I think that your child could obviously, if you wanted something that was completely titled pre-algebra, then they could do that as well. But I do think the concepts in here are what I have seen to be the expectation of moving on into algebra and those higher level maths. So that is a little bit about Math 6. I'm so happy it's out. I'm so happy I have it. I hope this video was helpful for you moms who have older kids. It remains my goal and my commitment here to share content for older kids because there just is not enough of it. And I hope that I am helpful in filling that gap in at least some way. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this. If you have any questions about Math 6 from the Good and the Beautiful, leave them down below and I will answer them to the best of my abilities. But I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying your summer breaks if you are taking one. I wanted to share this with you, so if you want to grab it, the links will be down below for you guys to head over to the Good and the Beautiful. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again really soon. Bye, friends.